Alright guys, welcome back. Those who planned the attack of Godfrey Osotsi, they were very smart. They knew very well that yesterday Gachagua was going to confront with William Samoei Ruto in Nyandarua. So, the whole country will be in Nyandarua, not in Kisumu. Then he planned it and he sent Goons to do evil things to Godfrey Osotsi. And now, whenever you say that hakuna kile ambacho hufanyika gizani. And now guys, Babu Owino, let me say the entire loyal opposition, they are now clear that one man, Raymond Omollo, the planner of all attack that happened on Godfrey Osotsi.
Godfrey Osotsi is a peace-loving citizen. We saw what happened in Kisumu, and we know who organized the attack of Honorable Godfrey Osotsi in Kisumu. We know these boys. These boys belong to PS Raymond Omollo. He's the one financing these boys, he's the one breeding these goons in Kisumu, and is the one who has been moving around threatening the leadership of Linda Mwananchi. It is PS Omollo's boys who attacked Godfrey Osotsi, and this is a list of all these boys. Number one, there is a boy called Lucas Otieno, popularly known as Dogo, from Kisumu, attacked Osotsi. Pinga from Manyata and sometimes in Nyalenda. There's another one called Buddha from Nyalenda. There's Ronnie from Manyata. There's Alan Owako from Nyalenda. There's Kevin from Badis. There's Kalonje Carlos from Badis Nyalenda. There's Clean Query. There's a Tito who was also there to film and also to attack. There's Boy Akoth. This is their leader. This is a notorious criminal in Kisumu. This is the person who's attacking people in Kisumu. He's the one who's financing them. He's the one who's being given money by Raymond Omollo, and he's the one who coordinates attacks everywhere across the country. He moves from Kisumu, comes to Nairobi, hires goons. Raymond Omollo gives him money. He goes to Mombasa whenever there is a rally, he's given money to finance these goons. Kisumu, he finances these goons. There's Brian Otoyo, there's Dube, there's Novi, there's Ras Okeyo, there's Sam Molo, there's Bena Ziza, there's Ronnie. These boys are notorious in Kisumu, and we are giving them a warning. We grew up in Kisumu. We will not fear these boys. These are people who came to stay in Kisumu the other day. So these are the people who attacked. This year, you don't need to do any investigation. You already have the CCTV footage. I've given you the names. These are the names of these boys. Anybody who has a problem with this list should proceed to court. I'm ready to cross-examine them there, including the PS. PS Raymond Omollo is a PS for insecurity and goons. He's the one who's been funding these goons. This is the man who's been causing mayhem and havoc in this country. So this PS must be dealt with immediately. Ruto, sack this idiot. This is the most useless person in your government. Kazi yake ni kuua vijana, akishawaua anajengea hao mabibi zao widows, atanawajengea manyumba. He's creating those widows so that he can construct houses for them. So huyu PS Raymond Omollo, this is the person you should summon in Senate. Huyu ndio mshenzi, huyu ndio mtu anafanya everything, huyu PS Omollo. So kama ni vita ya goons, goons will meet goons. They can't beat us at organizing goons. Who the hell do they think they are? So wacha tutakutana tena, tunakuja rally in Kisumu. Bring all your goons and also come there. We are going to organize for a rally in Kisumu after Nakuru. Hatutaki upuzi lazima ishe once and for all. We have to sort out the issue of goons once and for all. So our magoons kujeni will be ready waiting for you. Hatutaki kuwa intimidated. The police is not taking action. We will have to protect ourselves.
And Babu Owino is even naming the names of those who attacked him and where they are coming from. And on the other side, Halwale was not happy on what happened. And Halwale had this to say.
Nobody should profile any community in Kenya. No one. In fact, I'm glad, Your Excellency, you have talked to an attempt to put a wedge between the Luhya and Luo community. It was not the Luo community that attacked Osotsi yesterday. There were goons from Kisumu. Those goons from Kisumu is a cosmopolitan city. They could have been Luos, they could have been Luyas, they could have been anybody.
And now Wamalwa is also reading the same book of Babu Owino. They are on one man, Raymond Omollo.
A phenomenon we have been raising as the United Alternative Government. We raised it with the IG, Inspector General of Police, the phenomenon of goonism, and where goons work with government. And instead of having a government that is whose cardinal duty is to ensure the security of every Kenyan, wherever you may live, whichever part of the country you may go, your security must be guaranteed by this government. But when the government gets into bed with goons, you no longer have a responsible government under our constitution. What you have, Senator Osotsi, those who are sent were told that, oh, these are watu wa mkubwa, these are Raymond Omollo'S boys, we can't touch them. We are demanding that PS Raymond Omollo resigns. He is the PS in charge of internal security. He cannot be the PS in charge of goons. And we're not just talking about the goons that attacked our brother. We're also talking about the goons that also attacked Best Western Hotel in Kisumu. They are the same goons sent by the same PS. The goons that came to Malava to attack us. They were hired goons from Kisumu. In 20 hours, they came to Malava, attacked the Honorable Seth Panyako and I and our convoy. And all these goons are known, and they are sponsored and they are financed by none other than PS Raymond Omollo. We want to demand for his immediate resignation and the immediate arrest of these goons and justice to be done for Senator Osotsi. So let's not tribalize this thing and let's not trivialize it. It is a menace that is going to affect us and the coming general election if it's not addressed now. Goonism is a threat to our security, is a threat to our democracy.
And guys, before we dive in, what was the reason of them to plan these attacks and what were they intended to achieve? In case this is your first time coming across us, kindly please consider subscribing to this channel. And if you wish to be among those people who normally stand with this channel as they support, you can also do so through the number you are seeing on your screen. Now guys, yesterday, Godfrey Osotsi was attacked. Who is Osotsi? Osotsi is the Vihiga senator, and the guy was the ODM deputy party leader. And through the special delegate conference that they held there in Nairobi, they ensured that Osotsi was kicked out as the deputy party leader of ODM. And it seems that now those people who are aligned to the old ODM, let me say the Linda Ground ODM, they are on a mission to ensure that the Linda Mwananchi brigades are not even being in position to do their own rallies. And for you to understand this, when this Linda Mwananchi was planning to tour in Kakamega, remember Babu Owino was very clear that the so-called Raymond Omollo, the PS of Interior, they had now organize goons to attack them at the airport. And if you are keen enough, during that day they were expecting to go to Kakamega, it forced them to use the so-called special jet kwa sababu their jet from, or rather their plane from Nairobi to Kisumu to Kakamega, it has already traced, and it forced them to change the logic. It forced them to change the travel logic at that time in the morning. Babu Owino, when you listen to Sifuna, walisema they changed it in the morning. So what is the reason why they are now attacking Osotsi? In politics, it might be not the Luo specifically that attacked Osotsi, but the someone who attacked Osotsi had a very elaborate reason. And he wants now to take Luyas. Let me take, for example, let me talk about the Luyas that are in ODM party and the Jaluos. You have realized the relationship that has been there between the Luyas and the Jaluos. And now this person is keen to ensure that this relationship is break completely. And how is he ensuring it? Now, when you go to the Luya land, let's take for example, Edwin Sifuna is being attacked in ODM party at the extent that he was aliyekuwa kando kidogo. Then we are still now talking about the old Edwin Sifuna. Then another one comes in, and this is something that uh, you cannot even talk about attacks. If you watch that CCTV keenly, you realize that this person, he was attacking, but the people were around this hotel, or rather the so-called penye alikuwa ameenda to shave. It was just, they were just staring at him, meaning that even these things was planned to happen the way it happened. Now, this relationship is now broken. Let me say it is broken. And now, the Luo people are now waneka boundaries that for anybody who is not supporting the so-called broad-based government and Linda ground, you are not supposed to step in Kisumu. And that is something very, very difficult. I don't know if they will be able to maneuver what they have already started. When we say that now, in Luya lands, nobody from ODM, or rather nobody from Luo, will step in Kakamega, in Busia, in Viga, or even in Bungoma. That will be now reviving to ensure that the Luya, that will be reviving a hatred to ensure that the Luyas and the Luos are not speaking one language. And when these two are not speaking one language, that will be advantage either on opposition or advantage either on William Samoei Ruto's side. These people might, we may blame those who have done all things, but for you to understand it critically, they want to ensure to put a bar that Luya and Luo are not seeing eye to each other. And politically, in this country, I'm not old enough, but you have realized that in politics, when the late Raila Amolo Odinga was still on this earth, it seems that the Luyas were voting for him more than even their own people, let me say the Luos. So there is someone who wants to break that voting pattern. Eh? It might be is Ruto who doing this, alleged. They want now to ensure that Luyas are not going to vote in the same bucket where the Luos will be. And now, guys, take this seriously. When you look it in the other lane, I'm now talking about the voting pattern. Rigathi Gachagua, not once, not twice, even today, has announced that Ruto plans is to ensure that ODM party remains the party of the Luos. And when the ODM party remains the party of the Luos, then they ensure that in that ODM party, he need to ensure that, or rather he wants to ensure that there is no Luya who will be comfortable to be in ODM party. And again, when all Luyas will be kicked out, he will reduce this party to be the party of the Luo. And when this party now it seems to be the party of the Luo, now you stand to understand what I'm talking about. So these people were now, it's a plan of Ruto to divide ODM. People are not seeing it. But from my interpretation, it is a plan for these people to divide the ODM party. In that, this main issue, the planner of this attacker, is to ensure that Luyas are now get irritated, wakwe na hasira, so that they walk out of the party waseme, oh, we have now mistreated enough, and enough is enough. Let's now move out of the party. When they will move out of the party, your guess is good as mine. ODM now will remain to be the Luo. ODM now will remain to be the Luo party. You get who is the planner of all this. The so-called PS is just there as a carpet. But to have someone who wants these people not to work together, or rather to work together. And now, something very interesting that I also want you to understand, when this is succeeded, let's say, okay, through the attack of this guy Osotsi, walio wamesema we are now moving out of the party, we are going the other way. And now, tunapata that now Luyas, they are voting in the other way. When the Luyas are voting in the other way, your guess will be good as mine. Now that Ruto can dump this party, akishaiweka kwa kona, anajua that okay, there is one voting block that are still there and I want to work with them. And this voting block that Ruto will work with it is now this Luya votes. Luya votes is what Ruto is backing. And Luya votes in a manner that in 2027 Ruto might decide to drop Kithure Kindiki as the deputy president of this Republic of Kenya. Then Ruto will pick on Musalia Mudavadi to be his running mate. When you look at that arithmetic, lawyers will be like, let's try and look at these things. Musalia is nearing to the presidency, deputy president, second in command in this country. So, roughly 4 million votes of Luya will now recover the 4 million votes that Ruto has lost in Mountain. But it could have been difficult for him to get this vote. It could have been difficult for him to get these votes plus the ODM party. ODM could have been strong, itakuwa strong, so that it cannot be. So they will say we shall negotiate. And the story of zoning that you are witnessing in this country, it seems that ODM will be for the Luos. And now UDA is going to dominate in almost all regions that this broad government is going to be. And what I can also say is this the planner of these attackers to Osotsi. You want to threaten the Linda Mwananchi Brigade. And we all understand that they are led with Edwin Sifuna and Babu Owino. So they are sending to them a coded message that look, if you continue to do whatever you are doing, we are going to do the same way you have done to this guy. So from there, their life might be in danger and they will now reduce their activities in country. Let me say like they have planned to have a tour on Sunday or rather Saturday over the weekend, but kitu kama hii ina happen. You now reduce your plans, you go back to look to your colleague anaendeleaje ama what is happening. And if you decided to go to that rally, mnakuwa you are so worried that anything can happen. Ama not just as a group, but let me say as individual. Assume that now Sifuna walks, let me say in any restaurant here in Nairobi, then he might be not comfortable to be in that place. Kwa sababu kitu kitamwambia utatakiwa the same your colleague was attacked. So from there they will in anyhow reduce their plans of this Linda Mwananchi meetings. So the planner of that also has that in mind to ensure that the planners of Linda Mwananchi reduced their plans meetings in this country. Those meetings I can say they're giving one man sleepless night, and that man is William Samoei Ruto. William Samoei Ruto is backing on Luya. I have already explained to you, and it will be difficult for him if he allow Edwin Sifuna to rise from that community. It will be difficult for him kwa sababu he is now saying that okay, I will use Papo Aroma and I will use Musalia Mudavadi and I will entice them with this deputy president seat, and immediately these things will be twisted. Then the loser there will be William Samoei Ruto. So that's why he is doing whatever he can do to ensure that these people, or rather these planners of this Linda Mwananchi brigades, are now reduced, or rather reduce their activity in this country. I think up to there you have understood why Osotsi has been attacked and who is behind all this plan. I have said that PS Omollo is just ni mtu ametumwa to accomplish that mission, but the main person I have already explained to you guys. And again, what is your thought, guys? Drop it in comment section. As usual, I'll be doing my best to read it and giving you a response. And with that, peace and love.
And with that, guys, thank you for choosing Kenya Political Brief as our primary news platform, more so on politics. Kindly please share this video to a friend. If politics is your passion, this is the place you really wish to be. Kindly subscribe. Bye bye.